All right, so welcome back, y'all. So today we're doing a very requested video, and this is going to be mainly regarding fishing knots, right? So I use a lot of knots in my fishing, and you know, I want to share them with you guys because, you know, there's really not one knot that covers everything. So what I'm going to do here is I've got my top 5 knots that I use, and we're going to go through. I'm going to show you their application, and I'm going to also show you how to tie them. And they're all very easy, you know, and I'm going to do a you know, kind of a blown up version here for you guys down below. That way you can go back, review them, and learn these knots. And you know, 5 knots and you can pretty much do any kind of fishing you want. So we're going to jump right into it here. So we're going to start at the top and work our way down. And what I mean by that is we're going to start at what would be like a leader knot and work our way down to where we're actually tying on our lure or hook or whatever. So we'll start first with the best knot to tie 2 pieces of line together, and that's the uni to uni knot. There's several knots out there, but I found in my you know, over the course of all my fishing that the uni to uni knot is the best application, you know, for a wide ranges of knot strengths as well as just strength in general. It's just a really good knot. So application wise, when do we use this uni to uni knot? So here I've got this is a gar setup actually, and I've got a heavy 70-pound mono leader here tied to a 15-pound braid using the uni to uni knot. No swivel needed right there. We've got a nice good secure knot tying, you know, a very thick line to a thinner line. That works in that application there. Any kind of leader material, if you're going from braid to fluoro or anything like that, this uni to uni knot will be it will be the knot that you know, you want to go to. So we'll get started here. I'll show you how to tie it. All right, so first things first, we've got our 2 lines coming together that we want to tie, right? So what we want to do is we want to bring the lines past each other quite a good little ways, and then what we're going to do is we're going to take one hand, we're going to make a loop just like so. Give ourselves a little bit of slack. Now with this thicker cord, we're only going to go a couple of loops, but you know, in your application you'll want to go about 7 turns. So we've made our loop, one right over the other. We set that against the line that we're tying with, and we're going to go around those 2 lines. We're going to do this about 7 times on average, and then all we do is once we tie that, then we're just going to pull tight. You can see that brings all that together just like so. Now we'll come down to our other line. We're going to do the exact same thing. Loop over, leave our self tag end, run it through around both lines. We're going to do this 7 times. Like I said, I'm going to only do it 3 because I've got this big cord here. Give that a snug. You can see what we end up with. Now we'll pull on both ends, bring that together, and you can see what's happening is that it brings together just a very nice knot that's actually tightening in on each one of the lines. It's a very strong knot. We can clip our tag ends, and that's a super strong knot. Like I said, you can see here in this application with this this gar fly here, you know, we can tie that heavy mono to our mainline braid, and it just works wonderful. So very small knot. It'll, if you're using long leaders, it'll go through the eyes real easy if you're having to cast through it. So just a wonderful knot there to tie 2 different types of line together. So that was easy enough, right? Uni to uni knot, that'll get your leaders tied, and it just works great. So now we're going to move on down, and we're going to move to different kinds of knots to fasten lures, hooks, whatever you want. So first we're going to start off with the tried and true. This is the Palomar knot. The Palomar knot is a super strong knot, and you know, it's pretty much my go-to for the majority of my applications. So first off, Palomar knot. We've got our big fish hook here. So what we want to do is, you can do this 2 ways. You can either double up your line. You can either double up your line like so, or you can simply run it through your hook and then run it back. Either way, we need to run our line through the hook, right? Give ourselves a good little bit on each end. Then what we're going to do is we're going to take our loop end and the other end, and we're just going to simply make an overhand knot. Okay, once we've got that overhand knot, this loop end here, all we're gonna do is just go around whatever lure that we have, and then we're just gonna pull tight. And that knot right there is a super strong knot. It's basically going through you know, the eye of your hook in two different ways. Like I said, this is super heavy cord. As you can see, that's just it's doubled up right there. It's pulling against itself. Just an awesome, awesome knot, the Palomar knot. So that is a go-to for, you know, just about any application that you're gonna want as far as tying lure to main line here. I'll share with you an application of the Palomar knot. So this is just a crankbait here that I've got a snap swivel on. We could tie directly to the crankbait, but this is where I'm just running my main line straight into that swivel, that snap swivel, or the bait itself, and I just tie the Palomar knot. Super, super strong knot. So that's kind of a go-to there for that application. Moving right along here, guys, we're gonna go to what would be the loop knot. All right, now you don't hear a lot about this loop knot. Now in the panfish world, we use it quite a bit for our vertical jigging. And so I'll show you with you an application of this. So here we have a spinning reel here. This is a good vertical jigging setup here, and we've got a loop knot, right? So what the loop knot does is the loop knot allows this bait to hang free. As you guys have seen, you know, if you tie, like say, the Palomar knot down to an eye, that cinches down tight, right? And your lure can hang vertical, it can hang up. We ideally want all of our lures to hang horizontal, especially in a vertical jigging application. So what this knot does is it basically, you can see it's just free floating there inside the eye, and once this lure goes in the water, it's just going to sit perfectly level, right? So that's what the loop knot allows us to do. Very, very cool application, big in the panfish world. That's the loop knot. I'll show you another application for the loop knot, is tying a inline dropper. So here we have a crappie set up here, and we're running a double jig rig. Now with this double jig rig, all we have to do is tie our loop knot and leave an extra tag end, an extra long tag end, and then what that allows us to do is to tie two baits on, and this upper bait here, it hangs free, it's moving around, it's not tied directly to the main line, and it will hang nice and horizontal in the water column. And that's the same knot as before, just with a longer, you just tie it with a longer tag end. Even more, here's another application of it. So here we have a big catfish rig, right? This is a double catfish rig, and so we've got two double loop knots here in this situation. You can see two big circle hooks here tied with loop knots. We'll tie this, leave an extra long tag end, tie this hook on, leave an extra long tag end, going down to our weight dropper. So, you know, a lot of applications for the loop knot. It comes in very handy. So I'll show you how to tie that real quick here. All right, so we're gonna go ahead and tie it onto our big fish hook here, right? So what we're gonna do is we're simply just gonna come right through the eye of the hook. And like I said, depending on the application, you can leave either an exceptional long tag end or you know, a shorter tag end. But we're just gonna give ourselves just a good little bit. Now, we'll grab both ends here. What I like to do is I like to come up from the hook just a little ways, and what we want to do is we want to actually spin that hook around that main line 2 or 3 good times. And what that's going to do is that 2 or 3 good wraps, once we pull that tight, you see, is not going to allow that knot to suck down to the eye of the hook. And you can see here we have our nice loop knot. And like I said, if you bring a longer lead, then you can just run additional tackle below that. But that's all that is here. Very simple knot. You know, get that good loop. Now, if you don't get that extra loop in the line, what happens with this is once under tension, it will draw down to the eye. If you just make this one turn, make the one twist, say, and then run through, what'll happen is that line with fishing line will draw itself down. and we don't want that. You know, we want the free swinging effect of this. So like I said, really simple here. Just grab that line. We want to make, you can twist it, you can wrap it, but we need at least 2 or 3 good wraps right behind it. Draw that up, you get that good knot right there, and there you have it, the loop knot. So moving right down the line, guys, this is going nice and quick here. So next we have the Snail knot. Now the Snail knot is big. You know, I use it for all my catfishing rigs here. Snail knot is just an awesome way to tie a you know, a big circle hook in line, especially circle hooks, right? So what we want to do is, I'll show you an application for the Snail knot. So here we have a circle hook snelled in. Now the advantage of a Snail knot, especially with a circle hook, is you can see in this application here, whenever a fish inhales a Snail knot, because of the way the knot acts to the hook, the circle hook will actually turn into the corner of the mouth, and you're going to get a lot better hookup rate. You know, there's a little controversy out there, but I'm a firm believer in snell knots. So I'll show you guys how to do that. I do a lot of catfishing, and I snell you know, all my circle hooks when the application presents itself. All right, now first things first with the snell knot. What we want to do is we always want to come in on the point side of the hook. That's going to give that line to slam into the corner of the fish's mouth, right? If you come in it this way, it doesn't work in that application, right? So regardless if you have offset eye or straight eye, you always want to come in from the front side of the hook, right? Now this knot that I'm going to show you, there's a couple different ways to tie a snell knot, but this knot will allow you to tie from the end, right? So if you have a leader that's broke off, you can still tie on without breaking at your swivel. All right, very simple here. Let's come in from the eye of the hook. Now we're going to give ourselves quite a little tag end here, right? We're going to double over, and we're going to pinch with our finger. Now we're going to take our line, and we're going to wrap down that loop, and we're usually going to do this about a half a dozen times, right? We're going to wrap down that line, and then what we're going to do is we're going to come with our tag end right through that loop that we created, and we're going to pull it tight. Okay, and what that's going to do is, you can see that makes that loop right there, and what happens is whenever we pull this tight, you can see it's actually drawing that knot up inside of these loops that we've created right there, and it's essentially a knotless knot. Pulls itself, draws itself right up nice and tight, and then like I said, whenever you get the fish, it's naturally going to draw that to the corner of the mouth. So there you have it, guys. There's the snell knot, just a super good knot. I use it in most all my catfishing applications. I firmly believe in that snell knot, and the way that I taught you there with that snell knot is you don't have to start from the end that your hook is. You can start from your leader end coming down from your swivel. So finally, we're going to go to the 3-loop knot, right? The 3-loop knot is a great knot for heavy lines, heavy monos, you know, something that you're going to need. You know, as you guys have seen in this video, it's very difficult to tie, like, you know, 8 or 10 loops, you know, whenever you've got this heavy cord. So the 3-loop knot is a good application. I'll show you here what I use the 3-loop knot for all the time. So on like all my catfishing applications, I run a heavy mono, right? So here we've got a 60-pound mono going into a chain swivel. I'll use the 3-loop knot in that application. Going down to my weight dropper, the 3-loop knot works great. When I'm slab spooning, I'll use a heavy mono and I'll tie that 3-loop knot as well. Here's a Santee Cooper rig here. I'll use the 3-loop knot to go to my swivels on my Santee Cooper rigs. So really any heavy mono, big musky leaders, things of that nature, you know, a lot of times it's very hard to get those, like a Palomar knot, to fold over with those heavy monos. And you know, so the 3-loop knot is just a great knot for this application. So I'll show it to you here real quick. Now the 3-loop knot's very straightforward. So we're going to go through our swivel or our hook or whatever we want, right? And we're going to take this knot and we're going to simply just run it through. So we'll just run it through whatever eye that we need to, right? Leave ourselves a good little tag end. And then what we're going to do is we're just going to come and we're going to go around 3 times, and then we're going to come back up through. and it's basically a 3-loop slip knot. And you can see whenever that knot gets drawn down, it's not kinking the line. You know, this is with a big mono, this can be an issue. So we've got the 3-loop knot there for that. And you know, you can see it's a nice tight line. It's basically a slip knot or a noose knot, so it works really, really well. You can see there's no fold points on that mono. So anyway, great knot for using heavy mono. I use this knot all the time, and you know, with great success. It really binds itself together, you know, with that heavy mono. All right. So I hope you guys enjoyed this this quick knot video. It was fun to make. I've had a lot of questions. I hope you guys you know, can maybe go back, maybe slow things down, look at these knots in a little closer detail, learn them. You know, once you learn them once, you know, it's kind of like riding a bike. You don't forget them. And like I said, with these 5 knots, you can fish just about any way that you want, from small panfish clear up to big giant 100-pound catfish. You know, these knots they'll serve you well. They've served me well for years, and it was a fun video showing you how to tie these and share these knots with you. Like I said, you can see I've got my rods here. This is the 5 main knots that I use in all of my fishing. So if you guys enjoyed this video and you learned something from it, do me a favor, be sure to hit that like button. It really does help my channel and these videos out. If you're new, this is the first video you've seen, go back, check out some other videos that I've got. If you like what you see, consider subscribing. As always, if you would like, leave a comment. I love reading the comments. Let me know future videos, what you like, disliked. I just like reading comments from you guys. As always, guys, I appreciate the view, and we'll see you all next time.